everybody, Chaos Gaming here, and yes, we are back with some more My Hero Ultra Impact. And in today's video, you guys are going to be looking at some pre-recorded footage of me taking on Climax Battle All Might. Now, normally how I like to do my videos is take on the fight live, but since I couldn't do that, I had no choice but to stick to this type of standard. So hopefully, you guys still enjoy regardless. So that being said, let's not waste any more time. Let's blow this shit right the hell up. And ladies and gentlemen, let us get started with today's video. And you can let me know down below. Actually, real quick, let me explain this. So what I'm doing here is what I was doing in the other video, was just making sure how much of the current value of block he currently has in his possession. But let me know down below, have you guys taken the Shoto to this fight? And if that's the case, did you guys win or did you guys lose? Now, what we have Shoto rocking here is the first anniversary support mermaid, because besides boosting up your plus ultra gauge, making sure you have less stand, the cancellation of buffs, you also want to make sure that you are hitting hard as well, because in that final phase, let's say Shoto gets up to that point in the final phase, you gotta make sure he can do the damage, because that's something that he kind of lacks, I'm not going to lie. So one thing that made me want to take this Shoto into this fight specifically is because we guys already know that All Might, he likes to do that damage. So since we have the block effect active for us, we'll make it to where the majority of our characters are taking less damage because of the Shoto taking 50% of the damage to himself than other characters are taking. Hopefully that makes sense, but that's basically what we are trying to do with the Shoto. Make sure that everybody else is taking less damage, and he is the one that is able to block that amount of damage with the boosted amount of HP that he has. Also with max HP included as well, which this Momo is providing when we do activate her action skills with the plus ultras as well. So we finished the first phase pretty fast, so here we are with the second phase now, activating our plus ultras, which is going to be giving Shoto a nice block of 200 HP once again of the current value. Let me say it like that because it is different from, you know, max HP and all that. We also get the cooldown reduction from the Momo, so we should be seeing, yep, all our action skills back live in action. Another thing that's really cool with this Shoto, that he is able to support the Ashido a little bit, make her do a little bit more damage. Nothing crazy, but still, I'll take some damage better than no damage. What sucks, however, with Shoto is that since he has a cooldown of 5, it makes it to where, like, sometimes we can only see 2 action skills be activated versus the normal 3 action skills that would like to be activated with the other character that's usually in this fight in this first phase, Katsuki Bakugo, the first anniversary edition. He makes it so clutch that he has 3 action skill turns rather than 4 action skill turns. Alright, so he's doing what could have been the recovery block, but I should show you guys real quick. Hold on. Let's rewind right here. One thing that's clutch is that we are resisted by it because Shoto nullifies 2 status ailments on all allies, so we are going to be able to recover our HP no matter what for free. So in your face All Might when it comes to that. And I timed that with the plus ultra. That was pretty sick right there, the way I was phrasing it right there. Alright, so he's activating his plus ultra once again. We're getting our buffs together, making sure that we're chilling. Now All Might's gonna activate his plus ultra. He hits the Shoto, which we were able to block it. But this is what sucks right here. Right here, this is where it sucks, right? Number 1, we don't have action skills like that, right? Number 2, I've said in my guide, you want to make sure that you beat the second phase before All Might starts plus ultra spamming, because if he starts plus ultra spamming in the second phase at least 2 to 3 times, you are dead for free. No matter what you do whatsoever, you are automatically dead. Look right here. Pay attention right here. As you guys can see by the timer, though, the video is basically ended right there. But yeah, bam, dead. He didn't have the block, but even if he had the block, I think he would have died for free regardless of the situation. I want to show that for that specific case. Again, if you don't finish him fast by that second phase, you're cooked for free. But now, let's move on to our second attempt, which we basically take all over again back to the first phase. So we're basically going to be repeating the same thing that we were doing before. The only difference is that Shoto does do a little bit more damage for us to pop off and make sure that we do get to third phase. So this is more of a successful run right here than the first one being a failure, which is the other one. Thank God, if anything, though, we only have 1 failure. I didn't want to stack up multiple failures with the Shoto. I am curious, though, if Shoto was like level 120 or 130, would he have done a little bit more damage in that first attempt right there to make it to where that we could have moved on? Maybe he could have, who knows? I hope so anyways. It would have been enough because we are rocking basically 2 support types on the team, which that's why it kind of sucks to rock that type of setup in a battle like this, where you want to make sure that you are getting into that certain phase fast enough before a certain condition for the boss he meets, and then it makes it to where that his GG go re. I try to make it rhyme like that. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit of a rhymer, man. I like rhyming sometimes. What can I say? Alright, so we finish off the first phase right here. Moving on into the second phase, and as you guys can see here, it does slow down a little bit. I am sorry for that happened, but hear me out. this was a successful run. I had no choice but to see this through the end, so I hope you guys can do the same thing as well. Just see it through to the end. Alright, so now he punches the Ashiro, but since it is the second phase, he's not doing that crazy amount of damage, so he should be A-okay for free. Shoto popping off with his plus ultra once again, does a nice 60k. I thought he would have done 999, but I guess it's going to be the next turn when he gets boosted once again with the support memory and Momo combined as well. So here we go again. Them going with the action skills, that's what we like to see. And then I guess once we do finish this phase with Shoto, we could just move on to the next video, or maybe not, I don't know, because I want you guys to see a complete run, even though Shoto is not on the lineup, or let's say the showcase character isn't on the lineup for Climax Battle specifically. I do want you guys to still see that it is still a successful run regardless of that, so maybe I wouldn't even, you know, like try to cut straight into the other half of the fight to make the video faster. So we'll just keep it like that, just in case, you know, as well, if people do want to copy the setup that I have, that it makes it to where, like, you know, like, if they could copy word for word, bar for bar what I do, they have a chance of victory as well if they're struggling in the Climax Battle as well. Because I know, all my annoying, absolutely annoying. You can call them double A, all annoying. That's what we're calling them now, double A, all annoying. Alright, Shoto getting that little bit of damage that we needed. All Might activating his plus ultra, but this one doesn't kill us, so we are absolutely fine. And we move on to the third phase with our regular setup that we normally rock for the third phase. All for One, Ashiro, and the girl Momo, the Valentine's Day one. Again, Momo has been one of my favorite units to use this year, but I'm not gonna lie, I said this in yesterday's video, and I think I mentioned it in the comment section as well. Shouldn't have really brought her like that. I just brought her because when she's a debuffer, so it makes sense, you know, to make it to where Shoto takes less damage and all allies take less damage as well, so we can keep the block up as much as we can. But maybe it would have been a better instance to bring the celebration mode, which I am thinking about for tomorrow's video. We do Celebration Momo with Shoto. We got another attempt at Ultra Arena and see maybe if the character can improve way more than he did from yesterday's Ultra Arena showcase. Because I'm not going to lie, again, that made him seem pretty alright. Nothing too crazy, but just the wrong setup that could be. If it's not, then, you know, just goes to show you how much value the Shoto really has at the end of the day. Luckily, if anything, that this Climax Battle is not removing buffs as well. Because if All Might was removing buffs, then it would have been a humongous problem. I don't even think we would have had a showcase in this fight, to be honest, because I'm not going to sit here and record 3 attempts of losses and then not even a single win whatsoever. What the hell? You guys don't want to see that. You guys want to see some wins. I know more wins than else. Alright, so we get the stun off on the All Might right there. Double plus ultra. Do I double plus ultra? Yeah, double plus ultra just makes more sense right there, just to get the debuff. And also to remove all those buffs that he currently has. We want to make sure he's not stacking whatsoever. Again, that's what makes this All for One super clutch, man. Super clutch, just for the fact that on that plus ultra he's able to remove all buffs and make All Might basically a pleb once again. Basically quirkless All Might, if you want to say. Alright, so now we are finishing the third phase. Got the last stand going for us. Stun him, and then we move on to the fourth phase, where now things are getting serious. All Might frame 1 activating the plus ultra, but we are fine because we have that extra last stand going for us. But I do think All for One dies right here. I could be wrong if that's the case. Nope. Okay, he's still alive. Stun. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Man, if you get so lucky with the charms, you're just sitting pretty for free. But sadly, All for One dies right there because the action skill went through and we didn't have an additional last stand going for us. But luckily for us, we do got last stand on all 3 of these characters. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's activate all the plus ultras. What am I scared of? And also, with Celebration Momo activating her plus ultra right here, she does give increased max HP. So there's no way in hell that the other Momo should die. And if we got the stun, we're even luckier. Which we didn't, but he didn't attack the Momo, so we're safe. So now, in this instance, we're just going to be getting HP regeneration, or do we switch it up? I'm thinking about it for a minute, but we decided to go for HP regeneration just to get the extra last stand. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what route we go towards, whether we go more HP or try to gain HP. Because number one, All Might was going to hit us with the freaking recovery block. As long as we got last stand going for us, that's all that matters for us. Now I was thinking right here, do we have last stand on all our characters before I make this play right here? And since I saw that we didn't have all last stand, I was like, you know what, let's go for it. Let's try to get the plus ultras in so we can lower that counter, number 1. And 2, just again, All Might can have these buffs up. If he has these buffs up, it's basically GG's. And crazy enough, Ashiro did die for us right here, which is sad that it happened, but Momo could take the reign from here. She could steer the wheel because she gives us last stand. No way in hell can All Might get rid of that for us. And plus on our plus ultras for every single character that we are activating it with, it does remove buffs. Again, this is pretty scary, I know. But we come out on clutch. We're clutch right here because of what Shoto is accomplishing. Which is making sure that he takes less damage for everyone else. With that block buff, it just comes in clutch under the right scenarios. So now I'm thinking here, what should I do? Should I try to activate 1+ Ultra or try to get both plus Ultras to make it to where that if we tap him again, he's basically dead? So I decided to make sure, you know, let's get Momo's plus Ultra going so that once we activate these two, it's GG go re for this man. He punches us, but that does no damage whatsoever. We activate both plus Ultras. He can't kill us right here, and he's done. Get the hell up off my video game. Let's see how much damage Shoto does. He does 0 damage, and that's what I'm talking about. If he has no buffs going for him, he does nothing whatsoever. So that's why I gave him the last support memory, if anything. Let's move on to our final attempt where Shoto is going to be in the second rotation. So if anything, now for this, I am going to fast forward all the way to the third attempt because this is pretty normal what happens in the first 2 phases when we have this team going for us. Okay, come on, come on, come on. Damn, the second phase lasted a little bit longer than I thought. What the hell, man? Okay, there we go. All right, let me rewind a little bit. Perfect. We got the next rotation ready to go. Now, I'm thinking here like, you know what? We are absolutely safe. We have the nullify status elements. We're able to boost our plus ultra faster. Also, with the buff of block being available to us, we should be taking way less damage than usual on all our rotations. But that's something we're going to have to find out right here, right now. So, of course, he attacks Shoto first. As usual, he likes to attack either the showcase character or the newest character that I'm trying to test out on the team. Or, if he's feeling really lucky, he loves to attack Ashido more than anything in this world. If anything, I have made the joke that Ashido is the new Midoriya just because of how much All Might wants to, you know, test her limits, go beyond, and teach her the ways of plus ultra, or basically smacking her. As you guys saw right there, we were resistant to the recovery block once again. A great feature to have. 51k, which Ashido, that is an insane amount for her to do. But sadly enough, look at her health. She is low, but don't worry. By next turn, she should be fine. Alright, so Shoto slapping him up for 3,000. He attacks the All for One. Sadly, again, we don't have Momo here, the Valentine's Day one. So 100% of the time, he is going to be hitting his freaking attacks, man. So he attacked All for One once again. Now Shoto coming in with the buff block once again. So he's going to be taking 50% of what... Oh, well, he dies anyways, doesn't matter. But he was supposed to take 50% of the damage. But luckily enough, again, we come through, man. Regardless of what's going on right here, we still come through. Insane, I know, absolutely insane. But you're gonna see how it folds out. So, next thing I am thinking about is what should I do right here? Like, should I just activate anything? And I decided not to, because since we're heading into the final phase, I want to make sure that everybody does have their plus ultras ready, like 100% ready. And since he's gonna activate his plus ultra at the start of the 4th phase, I was like, yo, let's make sure that Ashido is available to freaking get rid of all of his buffs. And number 2, let's make sure that Shoto does have another buff block ready to go, because as we see, the ability is starting to wear off. So yeah, right now we're just debating about what we should do. We activate these action skills right here just to make sure we do get to that 4th phase. Normals are going to finish it off for free, and then bam, here we are, 4th phase time. Not even hesitating whatsoever, I am pulling the trigger when it comes to activating the plus ultras. And I'm just checking real quick just to make sure if everybody has last stand or not. But crazy enough, the Shoto didn't have last stand. But if we went first right here, this was literally life or death. Look, right? Since we didn't have the ability buff block active or last stand whatsoever, this gave me an idea in my head. Hold on, we're still faster though, because of the ability block where it degrades our speed to the maximum. So it gives me the chance to get that block buff ready to go, and then Shoto's going to be able to survive no matter what the situation may hold to him. Because again, look at all those max HP downs he had. Let me show that real quick again. Look at that. He had a lot of freaking max HP downs. Can you believe that? That is insane. So the fact that we got that ability up before anything else, that was a sign from the Gacha Lords blessing me. Absolute Gacha Lords coming in clutch for me right there. Or the RNG gods, whatever you want to call them. So Shoto's going in once again with his plus ultra, doing a nice little 27k. Momo doing 38k. Isn't it crazy that the support unit is doing more damage than the Shoto? That's kind of crazy to me. Kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. I wish kind of Shoto for his first action skill where buff skill impact, it just buffed power. I think that would have been way more better than him just buffing us one singular type of damage. Maybe that would have made him crazy, who knows, I don't know. I just feel like it would have been better. Alright, so now I am trying to see what we should do right here. And then I figure out, oh, we don't got the buff block no more. Let's activate the third, well, activate him as the third skill chain. Yes, number one, to make sure he does do more damage on his plus ultra and damage base itself. But also make sure we do have a little bit of block going for us. As we see, now it's gone. But if we didn't have it up before, we would have been entirely in a different scenario. And I think we would have had to been scared shitless. Like, absolutely frightened of what we would have to face. But now we're just A-okay. All Might doesn't really have buffs whatsoever. And then, you know, on our next turn, once we get all the plus ultras, GG's. Look at that. He can't do anything. He can't. 3 characters still alive. And actually, if we count 4 with the Bakugo in the back, we just need 2 plus ultras, which Bakugo also in the back has as well. He can't do anything whatsoever. So I only activated the 1 because I just wanted to make sure 1, we had the HP regeneration, and 2, get that last stand up because I didn't think it was smart to activate both last stand healing effects at the same time. It's like, come on, man. Like, I'm just wasting abilities at that point. Just to gain plus ultras? No, you gotta think smart. Sometimes you don't play fast. You gotta play slow to just make sure you secure the dub. I don't know where I was trying to go right there, but I think it still makes sense at the end of the day. You saw how much damage you did? Can we see that again? Hold on. Can we please see that again? 63k is absolutely insane. And that's because he had his buffs up. If we had All For One still alive right here, I promise you he wouldn't even been breathing that amount of damage whatsoever. But luckily, Ashito is going to be getting rid of these buffs right here. At least 2 of them to 4. I think it's 2. On the action skill, I know on the plus ultra it's 4. That is automatic. I know it's 4. But on the first action skill, I do think it's 2. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Like, what the hell are you doing? Why not activate both plus ultras right here? Well, that's what I'm checking right now. If we had the last stand up for every single character right here, I would have done so. And since we did, bam, we do it right away. And Ashito going first comes so much in clutch because 4 of those buffs are going to be gone for free. Bam, so he only has 3. All Might's going to hit us. Not going to affect us whatsoever because we have the last stand going for Bakugo. We slap him up. GG, go Re. So with that, this is where we're ending today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and comment if you want to. You don't have to, but it's always greatly appreciated. Also subscribe. Again, let me know down below how was your runs at Climax Battle running the Shoto, or if you want to explain how your runs went overall with this All Might, or as we call him now, Double A, All Annoying. Let me know that as well. So with that, I'll see ya next time. Peace.